Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, happy Sunday everybody. Good morning and welcome to another edition of the AccessToTrader.com weekend update show. Hope everybody is doing well. Finally back-to-back days of nice weather in the Northeast. One of the worst summers I've seen as far as weather. If this was snow, we'd be getting 9 feet of snow every single week. So hopefully you guys are enjoying summer. We got basically about a month and a half left of nice weather and then going back to, well, father winter, right? Not exactly the favorite time of year. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in, spending a couple of minutes with me. All I ask is click that like button, support the channel. Hopefully, again, I will continue to do my best to point you in the right direction. So 2026 is going to be is going to go down as one of the most aggressive, violent, and resilient years you're probably going to trade in your career. It's going to be up there, right? It's going to be up there. Out of I'm going on my 27th year. I rarely remember going back, and there's been some really aggressive, violent markets, but I don't remember this much aggression on both sides, right? On both sides. And, you know, the way we always look at the tape is, well, if it's building above the 50-day moving average, it's good, right? Risk on. If it's building below the 50-day moving average, the last thing you want to do is be long until the market reclaims it back. And you can see just the evidence going back, kind of going back from April. I mean, April, the Qs reclaimed the 50-day moving average and went from 609 all the way up to June of 747. I mean, you're talking about a 100-point move on the Qs. And you can just see this last move down. And again, although it was very, very brief, you can see, you know, we went from 716, actually 724 on July the 15th, all the way down to 660, guys. I mean, that's a huge move. It's 60, 70 points move on a couple of weeks. That is very, very aggressive. And then equally what happened back on the way up in the last week or so, we've seen the Qs go literally from 660, reclaim back the 50-day moving average at 715. And here we are in the 720s. And, you know, the one thing, you know, a lot of traders are exposed to is holding on, right? You hold on once, it works. You hold on twice, it works. You hold on 3 times, it works. Eventually, at some point in your career, you're going to be faced with a situation that you can't hold on, right? All you have to do is go back to 2007, 2008, 2022. That was the most recent example of what happens when the market gets violent and stays violent for that long. In 2022, we went down like 35%, if you guys remember, on the NASDAQ. So we are back above the 50-day moving average. The second most important part, well, as equally as important, is the resilience, right? I think we have to talk about the resilience and the theme of what's happening. During this earnings quarter, we've noticed a lot of similarities of what happens when a stock beats their numbers. They absolutely go crazy, right? Case in point, PLTR. If you've been watching this broadcast or been in the webinar, you've seen what PLTR, and you've witnessed and you've traded what you've seen in PLTR in the last couple of days has been absolutely awesome. Came back in perfectly, held the 200-day moving average, got above 59, got above 66, and yada, yada, yada. Here we are at 72.40s. So you have one case of a stock that's gapping and going above a really good earnings report, right? Really, really strong. And then you have the other side of the equation, the stocks that had good earnings, wasn't a great initial reaction, but then recovered with a lot of vengeance. And again, you can see how many examples of that, right? You have Microsoft. Oh, excuse me, wrong example. Microsoft is one of the ones that went gap and go. So you have, for example, you have Google, right? You have Google, first example of a stock. I'm not sure why it's not coming up. All right, so it's always good to record a video and your e-signal is not working. Anyway, you just have to take my word for it. Google had a quarter, came down very, very aggressively, recovered, and went nuts. Tesla, right? And obviously, this is going to go now for every single symbol that e-signal is not working. All right, let me just restart it as I'm talking. Even Tesla, right? Tesla had a disgusting, nasty, aggressive move down. It felt like the stock was never going to get another uptick. And then next thing you know, right? Next thing you know, you have a 2-week recovery. You can see here, right, filing charts working, right? You got a 2-week recovery. Same thing with Google, right? Same thing with Google. It had a bad reaction to earnings, very great move up. So it's a very, very impressive, right? Impressive, resilient market. And the last one, obviously, is Apple that's happening in the process. So we're in a very resilient market, right? Very resilient market. All you have to do is go back to Wednesday, right? SanDisk was the latest one that, had the nasty reaction, right? Nasty reaction on earnings initially, went down like 170 points and then just came back, right? And just came back. So right now, going into Monday's session, yes, we are above the 50-day moving average. We're starting to kind of wind down on earnings, but the resilience, right? The resilience is still there, and no bigger case than SpaceX, right? So you had this lockup period coming out. Was it a billion shares? Something like that. I don't even remember the exact number. Some ridiculous amount of shares being released. It looked like the stock was about to completely implode, which was already imploding off the IPO high print. And then next thing you know, they engulfed, right? They engulfed the lockup, trapped, late shorts. And then next thing you know, you got a slew of 140 calls coming in for next week on SpaceX. I actually traded SpaceX pretty decently on Friday, but this is, again, a very, very resilient, very aggressive market. If this is your first couple of years of trading, if you can kind of wrap your brain around this, okay, I think slowly but surely every year is going to be much more organic, much more organized, a lot less noise than kind of what you're seeing now. But the point is, it all starts with the macro, right? If you know the market is above the 50-day, there's a good chance if you have an uptrending symbol, right, that is sitting at support, it'll probably get bought up. However, and if we've seen that obviously the opposite, as soon as we close the 50-day, we got to get back above it, or else again, and even though it was a two-week size sample, we did see a 60, 70 point move on the Qs to the downside. So again, we start the day up over the 50-day moving average. Last week's highs was 728.50. Obviously, that is going to be the next price discovery level going into next week. The bulls want this rally to continue. You don't want to close below 708.50 because that is the week's lows. And not only is that the week's lows, that is also the 5 days. So above the 5-day, good. Above the 50, great. Any close below the 50, bad. Below the 5, not good as all. So be very, very wary of that. So you have 728.50 macro, and then you have 708 macro to the downside. So let's talk about some ideas, right? Let's talk about some trades for potentially going into Monday. SpaceX, trapped, right? Trapped a lot of shorts. Again, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, there is a lot of call buying coming in for this week's expiration. I saw a bunch 135s. I saw a bunch 140s. Obviously, above Friday's channel, can it get to 140? And again, you can see how it kind of correlates. Even though there's limited data behind this, you can see that there's a Bollinger Band and there's a 34 EMA kind of lining up, right? Kind of lining up into this 139.50 level. So if we can get a move back above SpaceX, above Friday's channel, we should get a move at some point to that 139.50. Obviously, the value, right? The value on a SpaceX setup would be profit taking, right? You kind of want to see some profit taking at the open on Monday, and you would like to see this thing trap on the rising 60-minute support. If you look at the 60-minute support, and a lot of you guys who are not on the webinar, this is like completely a different language to you, but you can see how the stock keeps on hugging. You see how it keeps on hitting this orange line bounces, 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 right? So you kind of want to see kind of a trend develop pre-market, start putting in a little bit of a series of higher lows. And if it washes out to the bottom of the range and it holds, you can get long and see if it goes red to green. And obviously, the hope is it takes out the previous day's highs and really, really goes. Oracle, right? Let's talk about Oracle. I like this setup, man. I really do. I like this setup here. Beaten down stock. Again, he's a perfect example. When the stock gets above the 50-day, it went from 155 all the way to 250. When it lost the 50-day, it went from 187 all the way down to 116. And yes, the power of the 50-day is very, very real. So I like what it's doing right now. Number one, it's not coming off of overextended levels. It had a nice little rally here off the bottom, and now it's just kind of going sideways, just kind of consolidating this flag here. We did see several 155 calls coming in, short-term expirations, some for this week, some for next week. As you can see, you have room all the way up to like 160, which is the 50-day moving average, but it needs to get back above last week's highs. If it could get back above last week's highs, I do believe that there's a shot, right? Especially in this tape, how aggressive it is. I think there's an opportunity this thing gets back to the 50-day moving average, which is 160. And obviously there we'll have a completely different conversation. Marvel, right? Look at Marvel. Marvel looks ready, man. Marvel looks ready. Had an ugly move with the rest of the semis, had a nice little recovery. And just like Oracle, it's just kind of going sideways here, right? It's still below the 50-day moving average, which is not a risk-on scenario, but there is a trade set up there. And again, if it could get back above last week's highs, man, there is a shot this thing goes back to 240, which is the 50-day moving average. So let's keep an eye on that. Avago, right? Avago was the big mover of the week. If you guys are in the webinar or if you've been following me, the 50-day break, again, was very, very important. You can see here, Avago so far has gone from 407 all the way up to the 431 level that reclaimed the 50-day moving average. We did see some pretty aggressive 450s coming in for the next couple of months. Will be very, very interesting if they could extend its rally, right? NVIDIA had a really great reversal this week. I think the stock, again, here it is, reclaimed back the 50-day moving average on August the 3rd. Again, you see a theme here, guys. Folks, if you're a brand new trader and you're tuning in for the first time, if there's nothing that you learn ever again from me, right, or anything that remotely interests you of what I have to say, just remember, as soon as a stock reclaims the 50-day, it's a good thing, right? If it loses the 50-day, not so much. So you can see really, really big move on NVIDIA. I think it needs a couple of days rest, maybe a test of the 5-day moving average, potentially for a bounce. The one stock I really liked this week, it got ruined, was NBIS. Michael Berry, I mean, this thing looked just like Avago, and it was about to reclaim the 50-day, and then Michael Berry, as everybody knows, came out and stated he's short the stock, and the stock got hit. Obviously has a very, very big following. So guys, always remember, a setup is a setup. Okay, you're not guessing when it's going to get there. The setup is a setup. I still have alerts set for this thing. We don't care about stocks that haven't confirmed, right? There's 20,000 stocks out there. I can't be worried about stocks that haven't confirmed their technical levels. But if NBIS survives the next couple of weeks and gets back above the 50-day, I definitely will be interested in the name. SanDisk, really, really nice job. Really, really nice job, at least holding its earnings lows. You can see here on the 150-day, it held here 4 times. Having said that, if they continue to sell the memory names, and you can make a case this is still under a lot of supply, under a lot of water. Let's just keep an eye on it as a reference point. Let's keep an eye on this thing below its earnings lows. Micron, nice little recovery. Still flagging here. It's a little kind of a delta neutral situation for me. It's a little bit kind of in the middle of the range. What I'd like to see it get back above the July range. Yeah, if it does, it has like 40, 50 points to the 50-day moving average, but something we definitely have to watch. It's kind of right now a little bit too early to tell. It's in the middle of its range. You got CRWV that is reporting. I think it's reporting on Tuesday or Wednesday. Let me just take a look. It's a nice looking chart. It's too bad they have earnings. I'm obviously not gonna trade this thing into earnings. Yeah, they come out on August the 11th, which is a Tuesday. They're reporting. Well, let's keep an eye on this thing. They're reporting Tuesday after hours. Let's keep an eye on this thing. We still have Monday and Tuesday to trade it. If they could reclaim back last week's highs, potentially they could run this thing into earnings. Let me see what else I want to give you guys for Monday. Let me see if there's anything interesting I can give you guys For all you guys who trade these smaller names, look at SOUN. Big move on Thursday above the 50-day moving average, got rejected on the 150. And you can see here, it got rejected on the 150 in May, got rejected in 150 in June, it got rejected at 150 on Thursday. If it can reclaim back the 150-day moving average, this thing could wake up as well. And Uber, right? Look at Uber. Really, really aggressive move on Friday. Engulfed a lot of selling. It stopped again at the 150-day moving average. The same case scenario. The 150s are really, it's almost like a brick wall, man. Stocks really need a lot of work to get through, but you can see it got rejected in May on the 150, got rejected in June on the 150, and it didn't quite get there on Friday. But let's watch this thing. If this thing could just get back above the 150-day moving average, this thing could really, really stretch as well. So again, guys, there's a lot of names, obviously, to cover. The mega cap names are obviously my bread and butter. If you are interested in pivots and you are, just kind of stuck in your career, guys, come hang out with me for 30 days. See if it's a right fit for you. And the only thing that you will possibly kind of leave behind is the quote-unquote normal. Guys, God bless everybody. Have a wonderful Sunday, and with God's help, I'll see you on the field tomorrow. Take care.